let me show you one more important thing about the database server that we will now try to access. Okay, so let me just show you one more important thing about the server. Okay, so any server will have an IP address. Okay, like you have your own, house number, flat number, you have your own home address, correct? You have your home address. So similarly, every server will have an IP address. Okay, so IP address is unique. So if you want to access, like suppose there are different, database Linux servers in your enterprise level. Okay, so definitely they will have different IP address. Suppose IP address 1, IP address 2, 3, 4. I'm just like naming this servers 1, 2, 3, 4 to 7. So the server 1 will have its own IP address like this, and second server might have like 192.168.1.21, so and so on. So the virtual machine, or you can say the database Linux server that we are trying to access, so definitely it also has a unique IP address. So I will just show you the IP address of the database Linux server that we will be accessing. So this is the IP address 192.168.1.20. Okay, so I will just copy this IP address. Okay, okay, so I know that I need to uh, connect to my database Linux server. Okay, and this is the IP address of my database Linux server. So to access my database Linux server, I need to use some tools. Okay, so generally we are using putty, MobaXterm. Okay, so in my case I will be using MobaXterm. Okay, and I will go to the session and the SSH tab, and I will paste the remote host, or you can say the IP address. It is asking the IP address of my server, database Linux server. Okay, so I have given the IP address. I need to specify the username with which I will connect to my Oracle database Linux server. So in this case, already I have created Oracle user uh, on the Linux server. Okay, and this MobaX term, this application tool, it uses port 22 to, to create a connection to the, from port 22 it will try to create a connection to the Oracle database Linux server. Okay, you can like we will study about, IP address port. You can study on your own about what this IP address port, this, the meaning, you can or maybe we can discuss in the upcoming videos as well. It's not a big deal. So now I will try to make a connection to my Oracle database Linux server, which is hosted on this IP address. Okay, using the Oracle user. So I click on OK. So now I have got connected on my database Linux server, guys. So like earlier I told you that server is basically a host machine, and it has its own CPU, its own physical memory, RAM, storage, network. Okay, so I will just show you. So this my database Linux server, it has its own number of CPU. So there's a Linux command lscpu. So see, you can see 3 CPUs are there on this Oracle database Linux server. On this Linux server, it is using 3 CPUs. Okay, and architecture is x86 64-bit. Okay, so you can see all the information related to the CPU, like what is the CPU, how many megahertz. Okay, how many sockets, core per socket, threads per core. Okay, so I This is the CPU information of this Linux server. And if you want to see how much RAM, so there is a Linux command free hyphen h. Okay, so as I showed you earlier, like my virtual machine I created, so I showed you that this particular Oracle DB virtual machine, it has around 7 GB of physical RAM. So as you can see, the physical memory, it is showing here 6.5 GB. Okay, so this is the 7 this is that 7 GB. So actually it is showing here 6.5 GB. Out of that 7 GB, actually it is showing 6.5 GB. So this is the physical RAM of this Linux server. Okay, so and the swap memory, there is a swap memory also, there is a physical memory and there is a swap memory. So swap memory total is 5 GB. Okay, so now you know that this Linux server, it has its own CPU, its own RAM that I have already allocated while creating the virtual machine. Okay, and there is guys another Linux command df-h. Okay, so this is the storage area. You can see, like there is a slash temp area. Okay, this slash is the root area, this slash boot. So these slash and slash boot slash temp, basically these are related to the Linux operating system. Okay, and I had created this slash u01, this storage area where all my database related, Oracle database related physical files will be present, like the software, physical software file and the database files. Okay, that we will understand in the upcoming videos. So this storage area I have created, and the size of the storage area is total is 52 GB. Out of it 29 GB has been used and 24 GB is available. Okay, so 55 GB is used. So you can relate this storage area. If I go back to my personal laptop, so you can see we have C drive, D drive, E drive, like that. I have only C drive, I don't have any partition. So this is a storage here, right? I have C drive, total is around 475 GB, and out of 58 GB is free. Okay, so you might have D drive, E drive, like that. So similarly on my Linux server, as you can see, just a second. So on my Linux server, I have this slash u01. This is storage area. Okay, like the C drive, like this is a storage area. You can create different more, like slash u02, slash u03, as per your requirement. Okay, so I hope you got an overview. I explained you using an analogy between the Linux server and my personal physical laptop. Okay, so I don't think you might find this kind of explanation on any of the YouTube videos related to database tutorial. So don't forget to guys subscribe to my channel. Okay, so it will motivate me and I will make more interesting videos for you guys in the upcoming videos. Okay, so I hope you understood till now. And one more thing, there is a Linux top command. Okay, top command. So in this command, this is 16 is to 21. It is the current time. You can see over here in my system, 16:21 local time, and this is the uptime, guys. Like this, my virtual machine. Actually, I had powered this virtual machine on since 1 hour 20 minutes. It is up since 1 hour 20 minutes. Okay, so this value is the uptime, and this is showing how many users are connected. To 2 users are connected. Okay, and what is the load average? So these values, guys, are about the load, the average load that is on this Linux server. So it very less load, 0.14, 0.07 load. Okay, so the in the top command output, like you can see the load average. This is the, what the average load that is on the links. It is very less value, 0.2. So because there's no heavy process that is running on this database Linux server right now. Okay, so these three values, these are the last 5 minutes, last 10 minutes, like last 15 minutes load values on this Linux server. Okay, we will study about it in detail later on. I am just giving you an overview, and you can see like total 256 tasks are going on. This one running and 170 sleeping task. Okay, and this is a percentage CPU utilization. Okay, 0.1% CPU, which is very less. Okay, and this 94.7 ID is the idle time, 99% idle time. Okay, like no, like currently no heavy process running on this server, that's why it is more somewhat idle. And this is the physical memory, KB memory, like around 6.5 GB total physical RAM that is available on this Linux server, like I showed you in the earlier free -h command. And this is swap memory in KB, which is around 5 GB, like I showed you earlier. And these are the different user processes that are running on this Linux server. Like some MongoDB user is process running, some root user, Oracle user process are running. Okay, so these are the different processes, and these processes, they are individually, they are using some percentage CPU, some percentage memory also. Different, you can see different processes are using the different percentage CPU and the different percentage memory. Okay, so if I compare it with my personal laptop, so if I go to task manager, so in the task manager also you can see these are the different application user processes that are running on my personal laptop, and individually they are utilizing some percentage CPU, some percentage memory. Like this process using 0% CPU but 4 MB memory. Okay, this process using 22% CPU and this around 5000 MB memory. So these are the different application processes that are user processes that are running on my personal laptop. And also on my personal laptop you can see the CPU utilization, memory utilization, the disk utilization. Okay, and the network part, Wi-Fi. Okay, so similarly on my database Linux server you can see similar output. Okay, here also we are able to uh, check the real-time CPU utilization, the real-time physical memory and SAP memory utilization, the real-time different user and application processes that are running on my Linux server, and the individual CPU percentage and percentage memory that the different user or application processes that are utilizing. Okay, so hope guys you got a practical insight about what a database Linux server looks like. Okay,